Hello, Universal Giving team. This is Zube, all the way from Birmingham in England, and I'm happy to be considered for this role. And here are my answers to the question. So, why this particular role? Ever since I've sort of like pivoted from clinical medicine to global health research, I have been keen on gaining as much non-profit experience as I can, non-profit, think tank, charity experience, because my vision is to found a think tank maybe in the next 7 to 10 years. So I've been very keen on gaining as much experience as I can in this field. So I've been volunteering in research centers. I have been doing some freelance work, and in September I have a 3 months full-time contract starting in September. So I am interested in this role because it's not really research. It's about ops, communications, marketing, and networking, which is an experience, which are skills I really need to start working on intentionally, because I have this feeling that if I'm going to found a think tank, I should have as much all-round experience, all-round skills as I can. So for now, I'm very focused on research skills. So I really need to add operations, marketing, communications, networking skills to my skill set. So that's why I'm interested in this particular role. So why Universal Giving? To be fair, I haven't really heard about Universal Giving up until last week. And I have been going through the website and the LinkedIn and the blogs, and I'm really interested in what's happening at Universal Giving. And personally, for me, I'm interested in Universal Giving because of the flexibility that this particular role offers. It's part-time, it's remote, and it's something I'm really interested in. And then there's an opportunity for long-term contracts. I was going through some of the projects you guys have on Upwork, and I've seen that some freelancers, you've worked with them for 6 months, 2 years. I'm really interested in long-term roles because I would like to build a relationship and have some form of rhythm. So I'm really interested in this role because it's in Universal Giving, because of the long-term nature of this work, and it's a non-profit, and I'm interested in non-profit. So what does UG do? Universal Giving, you guys curate volunteering opportunities and giving opportunities, and UG doesn't only curate. You guys go through a very serious vetting process, because I was going through the testimonials, and your clients are very impressed with the vetting process. So that's what you guys do. You guys give people opportunities to volunteer and donate. And from what I can see, you guys have been doing it for a very long time, and you guys have been so good at what you do. And I feel like that's what makes you guys unique, because you people have been probably the earliest starters. Because I know to be featured in websites like Bloomberg and New York Times and Oprah, it's not an easy feat. It's no joke. It's a testament of you guys' consistent work. So I believe that what makes you guys unique is that you guys have been at the top of the game. You're the earliest starters, and you are among the people providing consistent results for a very long time. So you guys have a prestige, years and years of quality work. And that's what makes you guys unique. Your prestige, your heritage, earliest starters, popularity for good work, and that's what makes you guys unique. Okay, so why am I unique for this role? I'm unique for the role because I know that my research experience can be useful. I work with Excel spreadsheets a lot. I work with databases a lot, and I know how important it is to pay attention to detail. I have been working on my communication skills. If you go through my LinkedIn, you can see I'm really focused on advocacy in Africa, and I know that most nonprofits have a soft spot for global South countries because the issues there are more pronounced. So I feel like if you need someone to advocate for you for global South countries in Africa, for example, I can bring my unique experience. I have worked in global south settings, and I feel like I could bring context. So my experience, my research experience makes me unique. My experience in global south countries also is unique. And also, I have been working as a freelancer on Upwork for 7 years now. I have been consistently top rated. I know how to deliver good quality work with little or no supervision. I'm a self-starter and I know how to start and finish. So I bring my experience as a long-standing freelancer on Upwork. I also bring that as a uniqueness. I feel like that also makes me unique. And okay, so a time about a place of work. I was upset about the place of work. Okay, this story is not it's a very sad story actually. So I finished my internship in a teaching hospital, and so I decided to take a contract role in a private hospital back in Nigeria. Now, for context, private hospitals in Nigeria are not regulated, so most of the medical directors, they are really focused on like cutthroat. They are focused on cutting down costs. They want to make money as much as possible. Some of them do lots of unethical things like over-diagnosing patients, adding extra drugs that they don't need, adding extra tests that they don't need, just in a bid to make money. So I had a 3-month contract at a particular teaching hospital, at a private hospital in Nigeria, and the chief medical director, when I started that role, I began to see the things that he was doing, over-diagnosing patients. A patient will come with just simple malaria that needs treatment, and he will just start adding lots of unnecessary things just to make more money. And he was doing that, and I wasn't comfortable with what he was doing. But I had a contract, and I just couldn't just like terminate my contract and everything. Maybe in retrospect, I should have probably like maybe sent him an email, and so we could have like a sort of like formal chat about the way he was doing things. But medical school in Nigeria is very high. It's like hierarchy. So the things I know now, I didn't know that you could do them. For example, when I did my clinical observership in the UK, I noticed that the consultants were more approachable. There's a chain of command. If you're not happy with the way things were going, you can give feedback, you can send an email. In medical schools in Nigeria, it's not really like that. There's just this really strict hierarchy. So you can't just air your views and send an email and, just like that. So I just had to keep quiet. And with all the unethical things this chief medical director was doing, I wasn't comfortable with the standard of care he was providing. A lot of things he did was unethical. But for me, the straw that broke the camel's back was in 2020, like the height of COVID. The chief medical director admitted a patient with suspected COVID. And I told him, I said, sir, this patient has COVID. We should not be admitting him. We should not be treating him. We need to refer him to the isolation center. And he said, he's going to admit him. And fine. He admitted the patient. He left this patient for me. And he went off to a meeting. And all right, it's okay. Part of my contract, I'm a resident doctor. I was basically living in the hospital. So I was responsible for, being by the patient constantly. But this was a critical case, and you would expect him to be around, but he wasn't. And then this patient, his symptoms got worse and worse and worse. And then when he started displaying the classic signs, he was stooling, he was vomiting, I called the chief medical director, and that was when he finally agreed. And he conceded, and he said, okay, fine. You can take him off to the isolation center. So I referred the patient. I took my time. I explained everything to the patient. I wrote a letter and I referred him to the isolation center. Fine. The room where the patient was, I sealed it off. And then I called the chief medical director, and then he said I should tell the cleaner to clean up the room. But the thing was, there were no standard PPE for this cleaner to use. There were no gloves, there were no elbow gloves, no gowns, no nothing, no scrub shoes, nothing. And I told the cleaner, that she shouldn't go off into the room to clean it until the chief medical director provided all the necessary PPE. So the chief medical director, when he heard what I said, he got livid. And basically he was like, why are you trying to usurp my authority? Don't you know that I am the chief medical director? Why will I tell the cleaner to clean and you will tell her not to clean? Are you trying to like disrespect me? And that was when he finally came to the hospital. He had been missing for like a day plus. And he got to the hospital and he was livid. He was raising his voice at me. He was shouting, well, I told the cleaner to clean the room. You told the cleaner not to clean the room. How dare you? And to me, that was just the last straw for me. And right there on the spot, I quit. Maybe in hindsight, I probably should have like de-escalated the situation and probably send off an email. But I was stressed. I mean, I was basically abandoned with a COVID patient. I had just finished internship. I still needed supervision, and the person that I needed to supervise me wasn't even there. He basically ran away and left the patient for me. And here he was raising his voice, and it was just too much. And I, right there on the spot, I told him, I said, I've watched you for a very long time. I've seen you not provide a standard of care to patients. I've seen you do lots and lots of unethical things. And I cannot take it anymore. And I quit. And that was it. I left the hospital that day. I packed my bags and I left. Interestingly, because I quit, he refused to pay me my salary. He refused to pay. So I had to write a letter to the disciplinary and ethics committee of the medical association, because the medical association that we all belong to, they had a disciplinary and an ethics committee. And so I wrote a letter to them. I explained what happened, and that was how he eventually paid my salary, because he was owing me and he refused to pay because his argument was, you quit and you broke the contract, so I'm not going to pay you. So I had to write a letter, and so that was it. It's a very sad story, but yeah, so that's it. And in that situation, I learned the importance of communication, formal communication, making complaints officially by sending off emails, because then you have a record of what you said and how you said what you said, what you wrote. And so I learned that it's very important to like go through the appropriate communication channels and make complaints. And that was what I learned. Right. So I hope this video sort of like gives context. I hope to be considered for the role. Thank you.